Greetings, gamers! Welcome to part number 59 of my Let's Play Fire Emblem 10 Radiant Dawn. And in today's episode, I have still yet much to do concerning taking out this behemoth of a chapter, as well as gaining all of the hidden items and a new recruit. I'm pretty excited about that. Always excited to have a good and new recruit. That Elwyn mage, I don't really like that. There's pretty much, no way I'm going to be able to deal with this guy without taking pretty significant damage. Granted, I don't think that matters so much. Alright. Micaiah dealing some damage. Really, I'm only doing this so that she'll get higher light rank. Very unfortunately, she has some pretty darn low light rank currently. A B rank in light is not exactly impressive, to say the least. Nice dodge. And then I'm going to rescue. And rescue. Also, take you out with a steel axe from Har. I have to be mindful of you. Leanne does not have anything remotely similar to nullify on her, so it's just not exactly a brilliant idea to have her in the way. Micaiah, you can go there. And Soth, you can go there. This is one of the big reasons why I'll use both Sigrun and Tanith. I mean, just look at that. 2 rescues and 2 drops in the same turn using Leanne. So it's basically like I was able to move an attack with both Soth and Micaiah and then move them back and away from the particular situation that they were in. Roth's bow, 20 times 2. So I'm going to have to use the silencer. Unless I wanted to, hope for a Deadeye proc or some kind of crit. Which I'm not really in the mood to look for because, well, the game is not really all that forthcoming with that kind of stuff. You're not exactly able to say it's granted that you're going to get either a crit or a Deadeye proc. They're both percentages. Daemon card, very nice. I find that Naysala is pretty decent at finding it because it's skill percentage chance. So 44 skill is pretty great. Unfortunately, whether or not Naysala has a double S rank in Strike by the time the end game comes around is pretty up in the air. Another thing that's also interesting about that is even if he is, I am most likely going to be bringing Tibarn already to the end game in question, so there is a good chance, a possibility, that I will not be bringing... Purge again. I will not be bringing Naysala. If I do bring a second, Bird Legoose, he is obviously the good choice, or a great choice even. Problem is he's the only Legoose Royal who does not have double S rank in Strike. I find this to be very egregious because in this game, you do not start with partial bars of weapon rank. This is something I don't like in the newer games of Fire Emblem. There is no reason why, like, Naysala here couldn't have already started with half or 3/4 of an S rank bar, because then it would make him a far more viable unit. The Legoose already struggle. This is what I'm talking about. The Legoose already struggle in Path of Radiance and Radiant Dawn. Though they are better in this game, I will grant that, till the cows come home. But the fact of the matter is that they're still not great. So you would sort of hope that they would be given better opportunities and better, statistics and capability. So I have to. Now, granted, a lot of people would have probably said, well, why in the world did you bother with bonus experience points then? You could have just given him, something like Paragon. I did the bonus experience points because he is not all that likely or guaranteed to get the kind of stats he has right now, and bonus experience points grants and guarantees 3 stats per level up, and if you're able to get the guaranteed stats, why not? I think I'm going to go ahead and attack you with Soth, because Har has other more important things to do. Perfect. A decent level up for Soth. Though he's not really somebody I ever consider a combative unit to any stretch of the imagination, he is definitely somebody that I do train up as best as I possibly can, because the fact of the matter is you're pretty well forced to use him. So might as well take advantage of him when you can. And level 14, I mean, he gets 1 resistance. Doesn't have very much left to gain, so it's not like that's a bad thing there. Absolutely not. I would love for him to, max out speed. He does have plenty of levels, though, so after this chapter, I'm definitely going to bonus experience points him. If he doesn't have his good old maxes quite yet, in speed particularly, I don't really care if he maxes pretty much anything else. Resistance would be nice. He would get that with bonus experience points, and that's one of the good things about it in this game, is that the developers tried to make it less busted than it was, but then ended up turning it into something more busted. And I hazard to guess that the reason why that even is because the people who created this game were just not thinking, using, that good old brain power. Alright, so he's going to double at 34, so he's going to do 18 times 2. If he gets a single crit, he will kill Scrimmer. I was thinking about having Scrimmer revert right in front of him, so that I could get some gauge. I just don't think that that is even remotely reasonable. Staff, sleep. Don't really need to use that, but I do need to continue keeping him ranged up. Soth moves too slow through this desert to want to walk him, so I'm not going to. Very nice crit. You did a whopping nothing on Har. You must feel proud. Oh, one of these guys does have range. I thought they were all 1 range. The thing is I didn't necessarily check what each one of the Swords Masters were. And the problem is they don't have any kind of different look to them if they would be 1 range or 2 range. I am going to be reverting Naysala here pretty soon, because he will get better strike rank reverted. It's one of the reasons why I gave him a bunch of I gave him a bunch of items particularly to heal with. He comes with an elixir, but you don't always want to use something as grand as an elixir. I love the fact that when he's reverted at maximum speed, he has 25 speed reverted. That's amazing. That's incredible. That's a kind of speed you don't typically think that a unit like a Legu's would have in this game reverted. Any of the Legu's that have 50 in any particular stat is just incredible. They're so powerful. Are we destined to perish here? Not quite. My maiden, hold on a little longer. I am here. Fortunately for you, my safety is unimportant. I will protect the maiden at all costs. You cannot rescue him. And why this is so incredibly stupid is it puts the map on a timer. The Black Knight only has 2 movement, but he will eventually get around to attacking the boss and them. So you are actually put on a timer, and I really don't like this. It's not just because I don't want to be put on a timer, but it's also because of the fact that he's going to soak up experience points for a group that needs it desperately. I don't understand this design. Granted, you know, it's not all that bad. I'm probably making it a little bit more serious than it actually is. In fact, I know I'm making it a lot more serious than it actually is. Okay. So Micaiah can almost reach. So the only thing that you can do to kind of supplement the fact that the Black Knight is going to take out all these guys is taking them out first yourself. The problem with that is... Oh, I didn't mean to smite you. Oh, good grief. But the problem with that is that it's still not, like, great. Alright. Because you're still on a timer, and there's a lot of items in this chapter I particularly want, especially that Legu's gem. The base card is hit or miss. It's not something that I would consider absolutely necessary to any degree. Yeah, that's why I wanted to smite her. I probably could have shoved her with a Sanaki. That is a potential. And I'm going to take and drop you. I guess you're waiting right there, and that is the end of my turn. Yeah, it's pretty unlikely that anybody using a bow or magic is going to hit Naysala at this current time. I'm pretty sure he has, like, so much speed, it's insane.
I don't understand. Why would they fight against the Vice Minister, chosen of Ashura? Are they somehow deficient? You will perish for your defiance of the Empire, vermin.
Yep, you can keep on trying to strike Naysala, but it's not going to happen. If it wasn't for the now rush that I have to deal with, I would probably just go pick up Shinan with Naysala and bring him down a little further, because he's not going to reach with any, reason. In any reasonable time, I should say. Yeah, it's really unfortunate that he's not doing enough damage with this, but he is using a hand axe. So it's kind of almost expected that he's doing such little damage. Naysala seems like he wouldn't need that extra 5 might, but believe you me, 5 might on his weapon. It's not just that, it's also the hit. All of it combined just makes him a leagues and bounds better unit. It's one of the many reasons why, for instance, that the other Legus that aren't royal are really bad, because it takes forever for them to rank up and strike. And because it takes them forever to rank up, you do not have the luxury of using other units if you want to raise said unit's strike ranks. It just takes way too long. Way too long. So it's very likely that I'll be able to find everything that I want to find without much of a difficulty. So there's not really that big of a deal that the Black Knight supposedly puts you on a timer. The only reason why I don't like it is because it would be, I hazard to say, it would be almost cooler if he was a blue unit. I'm not going to necessarily complain all that much, because the fact of the matter remains is that a lot of stuff like this is done in other Fire Emblem games, and I have no problem with it. Like these so-called timers, like Galzus mechanics. This is kind of like a Galzus mechanic, but backwards. And I don't complain about that. I think that's a good thing. It's just this particular group needs all of the experience possible, and you're going to be neglected from some of it. Luckily, one of these guys decided to stand right in front of the Black Knight, so he will not move this turn. That does shorten his reach quite a bit, because it's going to take him, what, 3-4 turns to reach anybody else? I kind of want to deal with the bow unit. Got the white gem. Besides Soth, Naysala is the best, absolute best, for picking up any kind of item in this particular chapter.
Hello. How can I help?
What? Who?
You and I were born under the same fate.
Same fate? Do you also carry the mark?
Indeed. I don't know who, or who you are, fighting, or why. But attacking my kin in the desert is the same as attacking me. I will not let them leave this place alive.
My friend, may I ask your name?
When you ask someone's name, isn't it proper to give your name first?
Sorry, I'm Micaiah.
And I am Stefan. Well met. Let's go.
Okay, so you get Stefan. Stefan, he's a true blade. Pre-promoted into the 3rd tier. Everybody pretty much is who you gain in this particular part of the game. He comes with the best 1-range double S rank sword in the game. 20 might, 95 hit, 5 crit, 10 weight. A unique and tremendously powerful sword. It's tremendously difficult to use. I don't like this. The only reason why I don't like this is because the Vekati had a huge amount of crit in Path of Radiance, and now it doesn't. So the issue is that, you know, some people will say, well, you know, it's got all that might and stuff, and that's perfectly fine. It actually needs the might just because of this game's end game. If it did not have relatively that might, you would virtually not be able to use it. I love that it has 50 uses, so it can be used quite a bit. Stefan is an interesting unit with 55% HP growth, 50% strength, 20% magic, 60% skill, 60% speed, 15% luck, 40% defense, and 50% resistance. He is a force to be reckoned with, and one of my favorite pre-promoted sword masters in the franchise, both in Path of Radiance and Radiant Dawn. I love him. He is actually fantastic in both games. He's way better in this game, even considering the late join time in this game, as well as the fact that he's behind your units quite a bit. He's still a fantastic unit. Comes with double S rank swords, obviously, and that's the only weapon he needs. 20 critical. This is astonishing. This means that he doesn't really care if the Vekati has crit, so that's, you know, it's cool. It also gives a +3 defense, but it just would be nice if it had crit. It really would be. Shove grants the ability to push another unit, we already know this, and Astra can launch 5 consecutive attacks, so it's a good version of Astra. For some reason, the developers are afraid of having good skills. So, am I intending on using Stefan? You bet your bottom dollar. He is one of the units that I used particularly in my Path of Radiance Let's Play, and I'm basically using all the units that I did use in that Let's Play in this game, just for almost like a continuity sake. Spear. Good job. That'll seem like a little bit of a waste at this current time, but it's not actually that big a deal. You have to be careful of Numida and his Gigantor range. He actually doesn't move, so he's only got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. He can reach Har, but I'm not going to be keeping Har in his range, so there is that. And I guess I'll move over here somewhat, just to be a help. And then, yeah, I could dance for Micaiah if I smited. That would be not a bad idea, I think. This will allow Micaiah to get some healing on Stefan, because he took 13 damage from an axe unit. It's one of the interesting things about the late game in Path of Radiance. There are instances all over the place where you wouldn't think an axe unit would have enough hit on your units. This guy's got 144 hit. That's pretty insane, all in all. Yes, Naysala at the lowest biorhythm possible has 125 avoid while transformed. 208 hit, which is insanity. A very great unit. I actually love Naysala. He's my favorite Legoos, probably regardless. Well, favorite combative Legoos, right? Because Rayson is awesome.
Reinforcements. I suppose I must turn back for my own safety. It is vital that I not be harmed for the good of the world to come. While it pains me to leave the field of battle, I mustn't put myself at risk.
It is 100% possible to KO him. All you need is Leanne and somebody with pass who can fly or move a great deal of distance, like Har, and just KO him. It's actually not that difficult at all. Yeah, Har has taken quite a significant amount of damage, which is unfortunate to say the least. But, you know, you can't always get what you want. Alright. I was going to take him out, but I guess this is fine. Numida is going to keep bombarding your units with Purge. It is okay, though, because usually Purge is considered quite weak. Thank you for your concoction I do not actually need. And I'm almost 100% certain that this is where the base lard is. And yes, it is, because it's 4 from this corner and 1 up. Yeah, so that's kind of unfortunate that I didn't get it right there. I've got still a few turns, technically. Good old Black Knight here, causing me issues. Yeah, I still have a few turns to do this. More like 5 to 10 turns, because the Black Knight keeps moving to the left and not moving at all, or something of that nature. A lot of these guys don't move over here. Like, for instance, these axe wielders do not move. So it's actually not a bad idea to leave them alone. I think the bow guys don't move either, but I'm not too sure on that one. That is definitely not something you can quote me on. And then Physic. Har needs healing very fiercely. And also, these two need moving again. I do love the fact that even though Scrimmer and the Beast Tribe Legoos are definitely at a disadvantage in this map until they transform. Okay. Purge. Not really anybody reasonable to attack there. I think I can still physic. Well, I can't reach Shinon, unfortunately. Just a little bit too far out of my reach, or I would definitely heal him. And then bring up Thani. You will definitely have plenty of opportunity to train Micaiah in the end game after she gets her very incredibly late game promotion. So I would just say, by and large, there is no actual rush. I halfway want to rescue you. Not going to put you right there, but that's the end of my turn.
Who are you?
I am the desert, and I brook no intrusion. Make peace with your blanker. That was quaint. Couldn't even hit me. Why is he moving to the right like that? Very strange. Alright, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He only has, if I'm not mistaken, 9 movement, so that is just not a possibility. And then I have all these wonderful, wonderful units over here that need to be taken care of. First and foremost, Scrimmer can come over here and start helping out. A level up for Scrimmer. Wasn't expecting that at all, but now he has 40 strength, which is literally the cap of strength that good old Naysala has. So he has an S rank in strength. I believe every single rank you go up with the Legue's weapons adds 5 might. So you'd have 21 might at max. And I want to say he either has 46 or 48. I'm pretty sure it's 46 max strength. Not too sure on that. But it means that he's going to have a 67 attack with max rank, as well as max weapon rank and max strength. So that's pretty great, honestly, but it's also pretty abysmal to get a hold of. Physic on Shinon definitely needs it. And Golger for you too. So I only have 2 more items to obtain. And Naysala is trying to obtain the one, whilst the rest of my units are up here trying to obtain another. I wonder if he needs to have... He might need to have an empty inventory slot. I don't think that's the case at all, but I'm not going to worry about whether that's the case. It's kind of funny that you can rescue somebody as big as Naysala while he's transformed. Yeah, I have to be very careful of all these folks over here. I definitely do not want Micaiah to die. That would be a restart, and I would not be a happy camper. Ending my turn yet again. Provoke is working miraculously, as it normally does. I appreciate Provoke quite a lot. Yes, yes. I'm halfway tempted to just keep her dead. Literally halfway tempted to just keep her dead. And I'll tell you the reason why. You can only bring 1 Heron to the tower. Sounds ridiculous, right? But gosh, man, do I not want to restart this chapter. In fact, I seriously do not want to restart this chapter. Of course, that was my own folly there. But still. L Silence. Surprising that he's using it now, but wasn't using it then. All this time. The Base Lard. So, the Ultimate Dagger. Double S rank. 18 might. 100 hit. 15 crit, 10 weight. This is awesome. This is one of the weapons that I typically give to Soth, as at his maximum strength, the Base Lard actually does some pretty significant damage. Not great, because his max is 28, if I'm not mistaken. So he's only going to have 44? Or is that 46? No, that's 46. Attack with that. 2 more than Ike's maximum in the previous game with his Ragnell. But also you didn't have any kind of weapon like the Base Lard for such a unit. So you could almost say that that's a very moot point. And you are gone. Over here. I halfway want to use the crossbow just because it would allow me to attack everybody, but there's also the problem that it's doing such little damage. Such abysmal damage because of just what part of the game I'm in. Alright. Using Olivia Grass. Fani is not exactly good enough in this moment.
Fool, do you honestly believe that your dark god can triumph in the face of Ashira's divine majesty? She's not my dark god, to be honest. I don't care about the gods. They have nothing to do with me. What? Then who do you fight for? I fight for my family, and I fight against tyranny. That is enough.
Those are quaint thoughts. I fight for my family, and I fight against tyranny. Quaint. Yeah, she's only doing 7 whopping damage with that. Okay. One, two. So an Astra in this game does not activate more times than is necessary to KO the unit. And yes, it does use uses. So that's part of the reason why it doesn't activate more times than is necessary to KO said units. And Physic Stefan. You do have one more item to get, and I'm going to be able to get that with Soth very shortly here. But with that being said, though I would love to continue this chapter and defeat Numida in his giant purge nonsense tome that decided to just KO Leanne. Oh, good grief. It is time to end this episode. I want to thank you for joining me. If you like my content, please vote and follow, or like and subscribe depending on your platform. And while you're at it, have a great and glorious day gaming.